Hello. The next part of this orientation will go over contracts. Contracts are a beast, and not every club goes through them, but I think it is important that every club knows the basics on the contracts. So with that in mind, when do you use a contract? Basically, a contract is needed if a service provider and or their staff are going to come onto Loyola campus and provide a service. Otherwise, it's for any event that has high liability, thinking about like a circus act, hypnotist, what have you. And also, you need a contract if they're getting paid as well. When you do not need a contract is when food is going to get delivered. Think about if you use Flacco's Tacos or any other vendor off of a vendor list and they deliver food, that doesn't need a contract because there is not a staff member from the restaurant serving food on campus. If you were getting a full catering service where you have outside guests providing a service on campus, that needs a contract. Also, if you are renting items, but they're dropping off the items, you also don't need a contract. Now we can go over the types of contracts. So one thing I really want to highlight is we have packets. This year, all of the information that we need is in one packet. And so what you can do is you can go onto Center for Student Engagement page on Loop Community, and within the files section, there is a contract tab. We have our templates in that contract folder. You can also scan this QR code and that will bring you to the same place. Now, one thing to let you all know is we have four different contracts. These are the most popular types of contracts students use. The vendor contract are for anybody providing a service that doesn't fall into the other categories. So the vendor contract is more of a catch-all. This would be like a coffee cart, or it would be renting equipment, and then it has a staff member on campus who's helping run that equipment. So thinking about a photo booth, uh, screen printing for t-shirts, what have you. Then you have a performer contract. This is where you're paying for somebody and they're gonna do a performance on campus. This could be a DJ, this could be a magician, what have you. Anyone throwing a show, basically. The next one will be a paid speaker. So if you're paying somebody and they're coming onto campus providing a speech, this is when you will need to use this contract. Lastly, you will have a $0 agreement packet. This packet is important to use for $0 um, kind of agreements with different vendors or service providers. So basically, you'll use this packet if you're going to have a panel and they're coming onto campus, but for free. You will use this packet instead of doing a performer paid packet. This $0 agreement is also um, for if you are going to have a different student organization, maybe perform at your event. So this is for any kind of performance, any kind of vendor, any kind of speaker who is not charging you money for their services. Please use this packet. Next is very important that you do not use the old templates from last year. Please only use the packets that are located on Loop Community, and you can scan this QR code to get to those packets. For those packets, it is important to download them onto your desktop and open them on Adobe PDF. All students should have access to Adobe as part of being a student on Loyola. And then when you open it up in Adobe, it will make it so the whole document is fillable, so you can type in all of the information you need. It also auto generates information for you, so you don't have to keep copying, pasting all of the information. Lastly, for contracts, I would like to go over an open contract. An open contract, basically what it means is that you do not need to go through a full contract process, and you only need to fill out an Exhibit B form, which the templates are also located on a resource library on Loop Community. There is a resource library button on the homepage you can click to get to all of the forms I am talking about. Next, you need an invoice. That's it. And you need to submit it as a purchase request 2 weeks prior to the event. So that's kind of a nice thing about open contracts is there's less administrative work because a lot of the administrative work has been completed prior, and so you all only need to submit the invoice and Exhibit B. I have a list of open contracts here. As you can see, we have Nude Coffee, Aubrey Sauce Mocktails, Labara Mobile Bar, and we have a new vendor is DJ Vestus. Um, he is a great DJ and he also has very competitive pricing. On our resource library, I have more information on open contracts and what kind of contracts to use and when to use it, as well as a full-on vendor list that will show you kind of estimated pricings for each of our um, open contract folks as well. And with that in mind, that is our contracts section for this orientation. More details on how to fill out a contract will be on Loop Community, and it is also those are also on our orientation slide pre-orientation slides as well. So the treasurers here should have access to those videos. Also, if you would like help in how to submit a contract, how to fill it out, you can always sign up for open office hours with me, and I'm more than happy to set up a time and talk to you all. Um, with that in mind, that is open contracts.